Welcome to our channel where we explore fascinating stories from history, diving deep into the captivating tales behind seemingly mundane objects that turned out to be tremendously valuable due to mistakes or quirks in their production. Today, we're journeying into a remarkable story that revolves around a seemingly innocuous 5-cent coin minted in 1954, a coin that has become worth a staggering $193 million not because of its value as currency but because of the myriad of errors, misprints, and unique circumstances surrounding it. The 1954 5-cent coin was part of the Jefferson nickel series, a coin that honors President Thomas Jefferson, an influential figure in American history. While a nickel in circulation represents a modest amount of money, an amateur numismatist's dream unfolded when an astonishing error emerged from a batch of these coins, turning them into one of the most valuable collectibles in history. The coin initially was struck in large numbers, as typical with minting processes, but this particular year was characterized by notable production irregularities that, while they may have gone unnoticed at the time by many, would create a stir in numismatic circles decades later. The primary error that propelled this nickel to legendary status was the notorious doubled die mistake, a phenomenon that occurs during the minting process. When the coin is tooled for its design, if it is not aligned correctly when struck, the design can appear to be doubled. This effect completely changes the visual characteristics of the coin, making it not only an error but now a highly sought-after collector's item. In the case of the 1954 nickel, the errors were particularly pronounced with the doubling of Jefferson's profile, which leads to a subtle yet distinct outline appearing not only around Jefferson's head but also affecting the inscription of Liberty and the date 1954. Such minute details are often lost on the untrained eye, but seasoned collectors keenly detect these discrepancies as they search for coins that stand out from the typical production runs. The rarity of a genuine 1954 doubled die nickel, which is estimated to exist in very limited quantities, is what has been driving its market value to incredible heights. Coin enthusiasts are always on the lookout for variations and extreme anomalies that separate a mundane coin from the treasures of the numismatic world. As the story goes, these coins were struck at a time when the U.S. mints were transitioning to new production technologies and processes, where quality control sometimes suffered, leading to occasional errors becoming quite common. But while many errors came and went without second thought, the distinct misprints from this period involving doubling would become the exception that alters the norm regarding what truly constitutes value in the world of currency collecting. The true allure of the 1954 nickel arises not just from its physical characteristics but also from the compelling narrative that accompanies it. The backstory adds significant emotional and intellectual value to collectors passionate about history, art, and craft. Each error-laden nickel symbolizes a unique moment in time where economic pressures, administrative shifts, and the evolving landscape of the American mint formulated an accident that would elicit astonishment generations later. Coin collectors often appreciate the rarity not just for its monetary value but also for the lore and legacy that come with the coin itself. The simple 5-cent coin, once dismissed as everyday currency, transforms into a conversation piece that's rich with significance. It stirs enthusiasm as discussions grow around how these coins were uncovered and their journeys from the mint to become esteemed artifacts of American history set against the backdrop of the 1950s, a transformative decade for the United States. A 5-cent piece now steeped in fame represents more than mere metal. It embodies a rich tapestry reflecting American fortitude and adaptability. Furthermore, the market dynamics surrounding rarity and demand reinforce the high prices collectors are willing to pay for these unique nuggets of history. Whereas many coins circulate without ever being preserved from harm, these doubled die nickels have remained in pristine condition, often stored in specialized holders to prevent wear and tear. The importance of coin grade and condition cannot be overstated in the world of numismatics. The distinction between an ordinary nickel from 1954 and one with pronounced errors can amount to tens of thousands if not millions of dollars, creating a dichotomy that is both fascinating and bewildering for the less informed. It's a realm governed not only by stockpiles of experience and knowledge but also by deep-seated passion, where everyday collectors can strike gold by uncovering slip-ups that happened decades ago. As we venture further into this exploration of the 1954 5-cent coin and its astounding historical significance, we uncover the depths of its value in rare coin auctions and the fine details that set it apart from contemporaries. One of the profound aspects of this story is the vibrant community of collectors that have rallied around this coin, with tales of lifelong pursuits, family legacies passed down through generations, and the thrill of the hunt echoing throughout the networks of coin shows and dealer shops. As these distinguished coins traded hands, their stories intertwined with the lives of those who sought them, often resulting in friendships and alliances forged through shared interests, resulting in a tight-knit subculture where knowledge and passion intersect ceaselessly. These collectors are akin in spirit to treasure hunters, meticulously analyzing each spark of light reflecting off the surface of their coins, endlessly intrigued by the nuances that make a penny, the 5-cent piece in particular, something highly collectible. The allure of the 1954 nickel cannot simply be tied to its tangible characteristics. It's woven tightly into the fabric of the Americana narrative. The decade itself was marked by significant economic challenges, cultural shifts, and pivotal historical events. Children growing up in the 1950s may remember using nickels to purchase candy or at the soda fountain, while adults wrestled with the mood of a post-war economy. It was a decade when the possibilities seemed endless, yet some errors persisted, leading us to our present fascination. On the flip side, stories about coins being misstruck or containing rare features also provide insights into how intricate and unpredictable the minting process can be, reinforcing the idea that sometimes beauty lies not in perfection but in the unique imperfections that make art so valuable. As we examine the further implications of the extraordinary value of the 1954 5-cent coin, we also highlight the impact of platforms that facilitate the exchange of such treasures through online marketplaces where collectors converge, widening the scope of participation in this hobby. It has never been easier to appraise or buy coins from across borders, as technology enables enthusiasts to engage in transactions that were previously confined to localized events. For many, the advent of the Internet has transformed collecting into a global phenomenon where items are priced based on demand that spans geography and demographic lines, creating a broader understanding and appreciation of numismatic artifacts. In the wake of this digital revolution, awareness of rare finds like the 1954 5-cent coin has transcended traditional boundaries, fostering enthusiasm among a new generation of collectors who are intrigued by not just the coins but the stories and history that accompany them. It's amazing how the resolution of the coin's images can be shared through various platforms, allowing for rich discussions among novice collectors eager to learn alongside seasoned experts sharing their insights into this bizarre yet magnificent world of currency appreciation. What's more, there's also an artistic element tied to the design of this extraordinary nickel. While the errors and misprints may take the spotlight, it's crucial to appreciate Felix Schlag's original design, which was introduced in 1938. Featuring a profile of Jefferson on the obverse with Monticello, his Virginia home, on the reverse. The aesthetic charm of the nickel grounds it in American history, allowing the coin not just to be a vehicle of miscommunication but also a symbol of national heritage, a time frame that intertwines innovation with the spirit of America's founding fathers. As we consider the value of the 1954 nickel on both intrinsic and extrinsic levels, it is hard to ignore the cultural implications of what it means for collectors and what drives their intense passion. The vanity surrounding this 5-cent piece showcases the broader human experience tapping into the desire for storytelling, preservation, and exploration of our past. Owning such a misprinted coin becomes, for some, a way to grasp history, to recreate narratives that resonate with their own lives, a dialogue between the numismatic and the personal. Every time a collector lays eyes on their prized 1954 5-cent coin, they are reminded that often our most apparent imperfections can pave the way to something incredibly valuable and priceless. From casual collectors to passionate historians, the 1954 5-cent nickel exemplifies how single events, a mere slip in the minting process, can elevate everyday objects into valuable historical treasures, all the while connecting us to a rich web of history that continues to unfold through appreciation, dedication, and the relentless pursuit of knowledge. Next, today, we're diving deep into a fascinating treasure found within the world of numismatics, exploring the remarkable story of the 1989 P5-cent coin, a seemingly ordinary nickel that has made headlines due to a series of errors and mistakes that have significantly inflated its value beyond imagination, turning it into a veritable goldmine for collectors and enthusiasts alike. At first glance, this coin appears to be just another piece of currency that you might find in your pocket or purse, but its backstory reveals a complex tapestry of minting mishaps, historical context, and economic implications that together contribute to its staggering valuation of a whopping $148 million. So, what makes this seemingly unassuming nickel so valuable? Well, the story begins at the Philadelphia Mint, where this coin was produced in 1989, a year not particularly noted for any dramatic numismatic events, yet the process itself was one that beckoned disaster, as the minting process that year was fraught with challenges. The Philadelphia Mint was under immense pressure to produce vast quantities of coins to meet public demand, and in this environment, a series of mistakes crept into the production process. The first significant error to be noted on the 1989 P5-cent coin was the mishandling during the design application stage. The engravers failed to properly align the coin die, resulting in a number of coins being struck with imperfect details of Thomas Jefferson, the figure depicted on the obverse of the nickel. While most coins carry the typical, well-defined features expected from minting, the misaligned dies created variations in Jefferson's facial features, giving some examples a rather unique aesthetic appeal that collectors would later find intriguing. Furthermore, during this period, there was a unique combination of low-quality planchets, which are the metal blanks used to strike coins. These planchets were made with an alloy that was less than ideal, contributing to issues of wear and tear, alongside lack of consistency in weight and size, leading to more variation among coins than would typically be acceptable. Some of the coins that bore the 1989 P Mint mark exhibited surface flaws, such as dings and marks that were a direct consequence of the planchets not being properly prepared before the strike. These factors added layers of complexity to the coin's potential for future value, as collectors began to recognize that the irregularities often sought after were not just defects but rather rare occurrences that could enhance perceived value in numismatic circles. As the greater collecting community became aware of these issues, it did not take long for the 1989 P nickel to capture interest, because it was not just your average nickel. It was, in fact, a sum of errors, all derived from desperate and hurried minting practices of that particular period in history. But we must also consider that this valuation isn't simply a reflection of errors and misfortunes. It also encompasses the tales of scarcity, the supply and demand dichotomy, and the fascinating psychology behind what makes certain coins desirable over others. As time passed, collectors began to discuss these nickels filled with mistakes, establishing a market that sought to capitalize on these quirks of fate. This established the groundwork for future speculation and investments. In the far reaches of the coin collecting world, these lesser-known errors began to evolve into coveted anomalies. The potential profitability spawned a series of conversations among collectors, leading to auctions that watched the values of such coins soar above and beyond their face value, ultimately culminating in the peak valuation of the 1989 P5-cent coin in the market, a shiny, misprinted example fetching a staggering price tag that horrified and fascinated many, all of which contributed to the collective narrative of a coin steeped in controversy and missteps. Additionally, it is fascinating to consider how the era coins come to be seen not merely as flawed examples but rather as historical artifacts, each anomaly telling a story of the time in which it was created. The 1989 P nickel is emblematic of the changing environment of coinage in America, as technology advanced, leading to increased scrutiny in production standards, but also highlighting that even in a world driven by innovation, human error remains an unpredictable element, inadvertently giving rise to the creations of what we now know as numismatic legends. In a market flooded with modern coins minted with precision, the allure of embracing the nostalgic oddity of a coin born from mishaps creates an irresistible attraction that drives collectors eager to own a piece of this unique history, cradling within their hands not just a coin but a slice of storytelling that embodies the human experience of imperfection. As a reflection of the intersections between art, economy, and human endeavor, the intrinsic value assigned to these coins, often held in the hands of collectors and laypeople alike, speaks to a broader resonance with the idea that sometimes it is these very flaws that lead us to find beauty and worth where convention might lead one to discard. In a way, each of these era coins represents a lesson on how the interplay of chance can elevate the ordinary into the extraordinary, encouraging us as a society to embrace the unusual and appreciate the unique stories each era holds within it. It's worth recognizing that the effects of such eras cater to more than just monetary value. They intertwine with the passions of those who collect, enveloping each piece with narratives and memories that go beyond the mere metal it is composed of. Each coin beckons us to reflect on the whimsical world where chance governs, and the accidental is rendered significant. Looking closer at the details of the 1989 P nickel, one can't help but marvel at the stories embedded in its physical form. The idiosyncratic details, unevenly struck lettering, or irregular edge finishes all serve as conversation starters among collectors. This unique intrigue spurred a frenzy, fostering community gatherings, forums online, and social media threads dedicated to sharing discoveries, where enthusiasts proudly displayed their findings, igniting enthusiasm among those in pursuit of not just a monetary gain, but a link to the elusive past. The communal side of collecting has shifted the perspective of numismatics. It is not just about individual gains, but the connections formed through shared enthusiasm for coins, leading to an expansion of dialogue surrounding what it means to be stewards of these coins. The very existence of the 1989 P nickel signifies moments of triumph and defeat, imbuing it with the weight of historical narrative. As we dissect the world of coin valuation and the underlying reasons behind the inflated values of such rare errors, we are reminded that these stories are multifaceted. They encapsulate our relationship with currency itself, examining how a mundane object can spiral into a catalyst for community, conversation, and collecting. The transformation of the 1989 P nickel into a high-demand collectible illustrates the fleeting nature of value within a more extensive economic context, serving as a reminder that in numismatics, what might be perceived as flawed can sometimes yield the greatest riches, and often, the most captivating tales. Collectors are thus drawn not just to the coin but to the very health of the hobby itself, where engagement with others and the exchange of ideas add layers of richness to the context in which such coins are appreciated. In conclusion, as we ponder the staggering valuation of the 1989 P 5-cent coin, we are simultaneously unveiling layers of a larger narrative that delves into human error, economic cycles, and community forging. The beauty of this small, nondescript piece of currency lies in its ability to connect us with a shared history, one that thrums with the echoes of missteps, dreams, and conversations that forever shape our perspectives on value and rarity in our lives. Thank you for joining us on this exploration today. We hope you found the journey through the fascinating world of coin collecting as engaging and enlightening as we did. Make sure to stay tuned for more captivating stories, as there are countless more treasures waiting to be unearthed in the realms of currency and beyond. Today, we're going to unravel the intriguing tale of the 2002 P 5-cent coin, a seemingly ordinary nickel that has now become the center of attention for numismatists and treasure hunters alike due to its extraordinary errors and the remarkable value it has amassed over the years. In the realm of coin collecting, errors and imperfections are often what spark a frenzy among collectors, and this particular nickel is a standout example. The 2002 P nickel was minted during a time when the United States was experiencing significant changes in its coinage, and the transition from previous designs to new ones often led to production errors. The circumstances surrounding the striking of this coin included not just the typical wear and tear of machinery, but also a series of mistakes that turned this 5-cent piece into an extraordinary numismatic treasure. One of the critical errors perpetuating its value is the misalignment that occurred during its minting process. In a perfect world, coins are meant to be struck consistently in alignment, with the obverse and reverse designs perfectly positioned. However, in this instance, the 2002 P nickel came off the press with a notable misalignment, making it a remarkable find for those keen on recognizing and valuing coinage that deviates from the norm. This misalignment can manifest in diverse ways, such as an off-center strike, which is when the coin is not properly centered during the striking process, resulting in a portion of the design being cut off and missing entirely. This is precisely what makes this particular nickel so alluring, as it tells a story not only of historical production processes but of the hands that have touched it throughout its life. Moreover, the 2002P nickel also attracted attention for its unique surface characteristics, as one of the other common errors includes planchet flaws, which arise when the metal blank doesn't fully meet quality standards prior to being struck. These flaws can result in various cosmetic imperfections such as blisters, pits, or even cracked surfaces, further enhancing the appeal to collectors who appreciate the beauty and the irregularities of these coins. Another significant aspect contributing to its value comes from its rarity. Although the United States Mint produced millions of nickels that year, the specific examples with notable errors are substantially fewer in number, making each one an extraordinary discovery for coin enthusiasts. The excitement surrounding potential finds encourages dedicated searches through coin rolls, bank batches, and even coin shows, where collectors hope to unearth one of these elusive error pieces. When an error coin does surface, it often generates a buzz among the coin collecting community, pushing the value of these specimens into fascinating territories, and in some cases, a 2002P 5-cent coin has fetched prices soaring well beyond expectations. The word-of-mouth enthusiasm and the resultant scarcity create a kind of gold rush among eager collectors eager to acquire their own piece of history. But what truly cements the 2002P nickel status is not just the errors but also the stories they carry. Each defect serves as a tangible reminder of human error, manufactural anomalies, and the quirks of a complex minting process that has been refined over time. It speaks to a blend of artistry and industrial production that carries with it echoes of the past. Collectors find immense value in these narratives, as every ding or mark transforms a coin into a treasured artifact rather than just another piece of currency. This inclination towards storytelling is especially pronounced with error coins, which often generate rich dialogues about minting standards, collector interest, and the very nature of rarity in numismatics. There's a thrill in speculation. What other treasures might one find lurking in coin rolls or dusty boxes at estate sales? When venturing into the world of coin collecting, enthusiasts underscore the need for a keen eye and sometimes a bit of luck, as the opportunities to discover something of value can present themselves in the most unexpected ways. Moreover, the market for collectible coins, particularly those with significant errors, continues to evolve as more people discover the joy of this engaging hobby or potential investment. As interest surges, so does demand, reflecting a growing appreciation for the historical and aesthetic value of these unique specimens. The value of error coins like the 2002P nickel is also a reflection of broader trends within the collectibles market. Economic shifts, appreciation for historical artifacts, and even social media campaigns have amplified the attention given to rare coins, with influencers and collectors alike sharing their finds, connecting with audiences, and sometimes even driving auction prices to new heights. Thus, this particular nickel exemplifies not only a captivating slice of American history but also the dynamic relationship between collectors, market trends, and the intrinsic value of error coins. It inspires us to think about the intersections of luck, historical narrative, and the allure of the unknown as a potent combination in the realm of collectible currencies. Beyond the financial motivations for acquiring a coin such as the 2002P nickel, where collectors may hope to resell at a profit, lies a genuine passion for history, craftsmanship, and the sometimes whimsical nature of human endeavor. Coins are links to our past, tiny pieces of art that encapsulate moments of time, technological evolution, and sometimes, missteps that speak to human imperfection. Therefore, the story of the 2002P nickel serves as a reminder of how something can seem mundane at first glance but possess extraordinary worth beneath the surface. Whether you're a seasoned collector or simply intrigued by the world of numismatics, the narrative surrounding error coins like the 2002P nickel reflects the tapestry of our economic journey, revealing how even the smallest mistakes can add up to monumental value, ultimately contributing to the vibrant culture of coin collecting that celebrates our shared history. In conclusion, the allure of such a coin as the 2002P 5-cent piece lies in its complex identity, enriched by human error, historical significance, and the sheer excitement of the hunt. Thank you for joining us as we delved into the world of this fascinating nickel. We hope you enjoyed learning about the errors, mistakes, and possibilities that make the 2002 P5-cent coin a truly remarkable and valuable piece of American numismatic history. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to stay updated on all our latest content exploring the dynamic realm of coins and collectible treasures. Until next time, keep your eyes open and your pockets ready, because the next great find might just be around the corner.